Three. Welcome to the Afropreneur Without Borders business show. My name is Clyde, and I am very happy today to welcome my guest by the name of Possible Diessa, who is joining us from Adelaide, South Australia. Hi, Possible. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you very much for putting this platform for the African community.
Thank you very much. We talk business in this platform, and we'll be talking today about just general business development issues as they relate to the African communities in South Australia. You've lived in South Australia for quite some time. You are an entrepreneur yourself. How do you see overall the health of the business community within the African Australian community?
Oh, I see. There's a lot of opportunities here in South Australia in terms of business, and I see business opportunities where more specifically from African people from African backgrounds to be involved and also making more business opportunities. And there's a lot of business that need to be explored. We just need to start going out there and get those business opportunities.
Compared to when you first arrived in South Australia or Australia in general, I'm not sure if you came directly to South Australia or you went for some other places. How much sort of growth have you seen in terms of the take up of business entrepreneurship within the community?
There's a lot has grown. A lot is happening. More specific, I would say, we see a lot of African businesses going to the India's business, and at the moment also is in real estate is a big thing. There is a big land that has been released recently by the state government, and we are starting to see a lot of African go into real estate and buying houses for investments and also buying land as well. So we are seeing a massive number of African going into that area as well.
So NDIS and healthcare in general and real estate. Let's
And
start
real
to
estate.
go. Is there any other area where there's a sort of more activity from African entrepreneurs?
We are also seeing a few going into construction. Some of them are going into construction. Is another area where we are seeing a big, especially this area of the northern area, where there's a lot of development happening that area. And there's a big opportunity for people who are, especially African, that want to go into real estate and also do their construction, and whether it's carpentry or they are just doing the skeleton of the houses as well.
Okay. Now NDIS. When I was in South Australia a few weeks back when we organized the recent Afropreneur Summit, which you significantly contributed to. I noticed the majority of the Afropreneurs that attended and that we engaged with were actually from the healthcare industry in general and NDIS in particular. What is fueling that growth?
I would say because of the current, obviously, government has released a lot on NDIS. It's a big business, and there's a big need to assist people living with disability, and we are seeing that more African are going to that area because it's an opportunity to be an entrepreneur. It's an opportunity to start off as well as assisting people living with disability. um, there's a lot that is happening within the area of disability, and I, f- I see a lot of growth happening in that area, mainly because sometimes it's some people are tired of being employed and they want to be self-employed, and or they want to go out and help people living with disability. Some people do it out of passion, and they want to do more to help people living with disability in that area.
And do they choose this industry because I suppose there's already a lot of skilled African professionals who are employed in the healthcare industry, or is it more just because there are a lot more opportunities for business in this area?
Some of the people that I come across, because I also do I founded the Multicultural Business Entrepreneur Network, and we see a lot of businesses come there because there is a need for, some people have worked in the area, whether they are nurses, come from a nursing background, some comes from a aged care background, helping people in the aged care. And we can also see some who have done some collaboration with other people who have worked already in the area. Some comes from a psychology background that are starting these businesses, and some come from social work background.
And when you compare other multicultural communities, such as the Indians, who are sort of the latest arrival in terms of the group of migrants, who are quite aggressive and quite big in business. What sort of difference do you see between what they do and what Africans are doing?
I will say in terms of networking is very important. A lot of network, I attend a lot of networking, and seeing a lot of African is rare to those networking. And we need to come out of our own sort of community and go and explore what is out in other communities. It's very important in that area. So attending so many events, sometimes you go there, you be asking, where are the African? Where do they network, or where do they do their networking? So it's not just about being within our communities or our own communities. It's about also how do we collaborate with other people from other communities, because that's where businesses are. And if you really want to make money in the business, you have to explore and do also that sort of collaboration with other community, the Indians, the Bhutanese, the Nepalis, and other communities as well. It's very important.
Okay, and are there existing sort of networks that sort of encourage the Afropreneurs to do more of not just their own networking, but also reach out to other communities? Are there structures that enable that locally, or what's the landscape like?
Yes, there is. I'll speak from. There is a lot of networking that happens, and there is the NDIS networks that happens within the NDIS space. And there's other area. I know the city of Plyford, people that live here organizes that network, and there's also other councils that are organizing sort of NDIS networks events where people can actually go there and see other people delivering similar services and see how they can collaborate together. And there's also other networks that we've collaborated with, like the city of Charleston, where we've collaborated with doing other professional networks, which is from multicultural backgrounds, where we brought in, we did a multicultural business development event, bring people from different backgrounds to that event and see a cross collaboration within different businesses from people from different backgrounds. Not only that, there are also events, conferences that we put up last year and the year before, and another one happening this year in October, to bridge that gap between collaboration between other communities and also including African, and also mainstream Australians also can come to that network and see how we can work together as businesses, and also see how we can find synergies on how we can collaborate together in that space as well.
During the Afropreneur Summit event, we discussed the barriers that might prevent more development of entrepreneurship capacity within the community, both the barriers from within the community and from without. What, based on your own experience locally, what are some of the barriers that perhaps are affecting the growth of entrepreneurship take up in the South Australian African community?
Yeah, thank you very much. Mainly, I would say lack of network. Network, they say your network is a network. We tend to stay within our communities, but the main barriers is go out and network. Regardless who is in the room, just make sure you make at least 3 to 4, even 5 friends within the room. Give yourself as a mandate, give yourself that as a homework, as a KPI each time you attend a business networking event. Make sure that you make connection, even up to 10 people there that you've made connection with and that you are going to contact after that event. coming out and speaking, public speaking, probably also one of the major challenges, I would say, that I've met some people in terms of coming out, especially our young ones, that need to be encouraged to be doing more on public speaking as well. That's probably the main challenge I would say I encounter within the African communities and some of the our members.
And when you say public speaking, you mean sort of, people need to learn how to present themselves or to present their businesses, or also or do you also mean just how people communicate and interact with others in a public setting?
Yeah, definitely. It's both. How we interact, because there's where you see a group of people standing, could be three or four, five, or even six people at a networking event. You want to be able to walk up to that group and have a conversation and hold a conversation with that group without feeling afraid, without feeling, okay, what do I say when I get there? What,
Mm,
your heart start pumping. It's like, okay, I'm in this group. I don't know anyone. What am I going to do?
mm,
There's that fear. And this happens usually at the beginning of when you first start networking. Another thing is when you start networking and you don't see results, some people start, they start feeling down. What can they do?
mm,
Because they're not seeing that result. They're attending few events, but the problem is that you have to give yourself that challenge to network with those people. And the
mm,
other thing, when I talked about networking, also is an opportunity to make that businesses I would say, possibly 100% of our customers that we've acquired is through networking. Um, because we will never receive a phone call and say, okay, um, yeah, I'm looking for this service and this service. A lot of them is through networking, because that's why I mostly emphasize on the power of networking, and we need to be going out more through referrals from networking. Not working, we meet someone from a networking. They say, "Oh, okay, I know this person is looking for this and that," and then we get the referral from there. That's very important, and people don't really realize the power of networking. There's a lot of networking groups that people need to utilize, and it's very important that we start looking at that.
So I suppose what you're saying is not just about going out and attending these networking meetings. It's also how what you actually do when you get there. How do you approach people? How do you present yourself, your business? How do you sell yourself to others to make meaningful connections that eventually will result into referrals and sale and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely. It's a big thing, especially, South Australia is a little bit small compared to probably Sydney and Melbourne. But here, networks is very important, and connection is very important, in terms of who will buy. Before somebody can actually buy from you, they want to know, who am I buying from? Because there's millions of other businesses out there who are delivering exactly the same service as you. And so your customers need to be able to connect with you, to be able to buy from you, and who they know, because if they know you, they're most likely going to buy from you. That happens a lot, especially in our business space as well.
And how do you? What would you suggest about building that capacity for more effective networking within the business communities? What is going to lift people to that level of really effective and successful networking?
Cross collaboration is very important, I would say. At the moment, we are putting something together. To give an example, we're putting something together where we have businesses, say, at the Chamber of Commerce. We have the Chinese Chamber of Commerce. We have the Indian Business Council. We also have almost 6 to 7 Chamber of Commerce. We come together, bring them together, and we talk about import and export, some of the opportunities and all that. That's where we want to see the level going, that cross communications and collaboration between different chambers of commerce, that is going to elevate us as African as well, when we start collaborating with other business. And also business opportunities also comes when not just the Chinese are doing their own stuff, not just the African are doing their own stuff, not just the Afghanis are doing their own stuff, but it's all about coming together and also collaborate in that space. And then we start seeing more of that. Then we start seeing more business opportunities, because someone from their chamber of commerce can actually refer a client to you because they
Mhm.
know you and they know what you're capable of doing.
And that's a space that you're occupying because I guess you organize the multicultural business forum. I'm not sure how you call it specifically, but it brings multicultural entrepreneurs together from different backgrounds, and that certainly helps with that level of education and experience that other entrepreneurs have. Eventually, that can be transferred onto, or people can leverage on that to develop their own businesses. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. We did one which was very successful. We did it last year at the Hilton Hotel, where we had at least people from 35 different countries background. So almost 200 participants attended at that event from different background, which was great. And it's all about collaborating. It's not just about, leave these people doing their own stuff. And so we invite key speakers, key activators, people that are doing very well in business. It could be from mainstream Australia, or it could be from any other country, to give us insights about what are they doing well, and what are there some of the challenges they went through within their business, and how can we, starting off within the business, can navigate such challenges just in case. So which was very successful. And we had the minister, which was announced as the biggest multicultural business conference here in South Australia for now, because nothing else has been organized at that scale. And we're looking to get that support, which we're already getting a lot of support from other organizations for that conference. And it just doesn't just end after the conference. So it's what support do you get beyond the after the conference and also before the conference. So putting that network together, African people and other people from other cultures can attend and network and do that collaborations and work together, and be able to achieve their objective of their prospective businesses.
Talking about support, what sort of support exists sort of in from government level, maybe at all levels of government, starting by the state government and then perhaps local and even federal, for the ordinary African person who's starting a business and not quite sure where to go to get support. You've been in this space for long. Is there any support? If so, what exactly is there from uh, government and perhaps other bodies outside of the networking and stuff? Some sort of structural uh, uh, agency. I mean, some agency or some organizations from a government perspective that provides support for small businesses.
Yeah, thank you very much, Clyde. So I'll start from the federal level. There's what they call the Self-Employment Assistance Program. I'm not sure if there's a lot of people know about it, especially from my background, about the Employment Assistance Program. So that help people that want to start employment, so that want to start a self-employed business,
Yeah.
and they can go through with you through all that the process on how to start, whether from opening a business, if you want upskill yourself to a small business sort of skill, they can go through all that space. In mentioning that, in partnership with some organizations that are already delivering that program by the federal government, we're organizing the self-employment showcase, which is going to happen on the 5th of August here, and we are also part of it, participating in assisting people that want to attend. They can attend. And also on the state level, the government does assist. They have the small and family business office that has been open in South Australia to help people within the business, and also to be able to get the information that they need within the business. I know they did a lot of survey a few years ago, and to get a lot of data on what they can do, what they need to do, and that is also happening. And that's on the state level. But on the council level, they organize. They have, I know, few city councils, or they have offices that look at helping people that wants to start a business. I know specifically the city of Charleston, the Plyford, and there's a Stratton Center where people can come and access information or access services that they need to about their business. So there are all these services that are there. It's just a matter of accessing them and making use of them.
Okay, a matter of accessing and making use of them. In terms of I mean, one thing that I've actually noticed when I was in South Australia is that, yeah, there's a lot more women that take up the business challenge. A lot more women that are entrepreneurs, and the number of men is quite. I mean, it's suddenly reduced, or very small compared to the women. Why aren't African men doing getting more active in business as we see African women? It also seems to be the case in other places that we go as well. From your perspective in South Australia, and everything else that you've been doing, how would you explain that, and what needs to be done to encourage more men? Because they are sort of a minority in this country.
Yeah, for me, I think there is more support for women in business, at least from the South Australian perspective.
Yeah.
The Minister for Small Business announced, I think it was last month or 2 months ago, there's a program specifically for women and that wants to start a business, and there are also some small sort of grant that are available for specifically for women to start a business.
Mm-hmm.
And also from from that level, we can see that already they're encouraging more women to take on leads and starting on a business. That sort of, I think that explains a little bit more. I think maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's based on their research or the survey that they conducted last I think last year they did that. So for me, we probably need to encourage people that wants to start a business. They need to have that information that they need, and we need to encourage our own men also to take on starting on a business as well. So we'll probably have to do more work on that space, and if maybe we want to encourage more women to take on the leads, then well, so be it.
And what about young people? What can be done, or what is being done in the South Australian context to encourage more youth entrepreneurship?
Youth entrepreneurship. I think it all goes from a general view. It's possibly the same sort of services. I don't see any tailored services specifically for youth entrepreneurship, but it's sort of similar general services that are there for everyone, that also youth can access. There could be some more tailored sort of services. It could be. I was probably working on a project here in the north about youth entrepreneurship, but that project is ongoing, still in the process of developing. So
Mm-hmm.
there are still some places or some councils that wants to see more see youth entrepreneurship. One other thing I would say is sort of in IT and technology is possibly most thing that is encouraged
Mm-hmm.
among young people to do more, just maybe because of the AI and also the new technology and everything. Youth are more encouraged to do more on IT and sort of technology, sort of entrepreneurship sort of role.
And you've just mentioned one thing there, AI. Well, that's a space where suppose everybody's getting excited about some of the things that you can get done through AI, and how that can facilitate and accelerate business growth. Do you think that there is enough of that understanding within the African Australian business communities?
There is a level of understanding, but again, it all depends to the generation that we are looking at and who is in the business. If you look at people who probably are over 50 and they're in business, probably the level of understanding of AI and technology will probably be lower than someone who's in a 30, and then they want to start a business within the technology. So So it depends on what area we're looking for. Again, there's not a lot of young people in business compared to the older generation, so or people over 50. But that technology still need more work not to be done within there. There's a lot of AI that we need learning on. Also, I'm still learning on a few of them, but there's still more to be done as well.
And that connects also with the tech industry. There are a lot of in Africa, for example. There are a lot of young people who are going into the tech industry, and are doing quite well. I don't seem to see much of that in the Australian context, but perhaps you in South Australia has a different take up. Do you agree that there's kind of not that much take up in the tech industry, not a lot of presence of Africans in this space? Is that your experience as well?
I believe so. There's no a lot. Probably is exactly the same experience, and I've been trying to advocate more on that within different African communities on having a lot of our young people not take on roles like that, because technology is the future, and we probably need to embrace that and also encourage our young ones to take on roles like that. And we still have to do more within African communities to encourage our young ones to take on such roles, and also be able to expand their knowledge beyond a degree or a undergrad qualification.
Okay. And what are some of the specific steps you think can be taken to see more growth in this area where there'll be more, not just young people, but any other age group within the African communities to take up opportunities that exist in the tech industry in Australia?
Yeah, first of all, there is tech hubs that have been opened by, I think the state government is supporting. There is one tech hub, so probably in the city. From my point of view, I think we need to, open up hubs like that to other communities to probably participate or do tours or school tours, to have a look and see what sort of technology are they developing, what sort of industries are there with those hubs, those technology hubs, and what they do to inspire young people as well to take on such role. We might have some young people that are really good with computers or are really good in technology, but they don't know where can they take their skills to.
Hmm.
And that's something we need to encourage and empower. We need to educate probably ourselves as well in terms of knowing where these services are and where to get them. Once we know where to get them, then we'll be able to pass on that knowledge to our young ones and say, look, if you are really good at this, you can go and do this. There's a place specifically that can help you train and become a leader in whatever field of technology that you want to pursue. We're seeing a lot of people coming, from other countries, that IT engineering and software engineering and all those areas. But
Hmm.
when we saw young ones, there's not a lot of people within that area of engineering, technology, software engineering, all those areas. But mainly it's a different area. So we need to encourage our young ones to know there's a lot of opportunities here, but you need to understand that not just this area, there's also other opportunities that they can also grab.
Okay. Well, that's quite well said. There are a lot of opportunities out there, but people have to go for them. People have to be prepared to put in the effort in terms of the learning, the information that they need, and being able to reach out to others through networkings and other opportunities. So what is happening and where you can get resources, where you can get opportunities to start a new business. So it's not going to be delivered on a silver plate to anyone. People have to be aggressive, like we see in other communities. So, possible, Diessa, thank you very much for your time to the Afropreneur Without Borders business show. We appreciate that you've come to talk to us about the situation in terms of business development in the South Australian context. And we hope to have more opportunities to talk to you again in relation to this and other similar issues relating to business in the future. Perhaps just one last thing before you go, what would you tell other Africans out there who are watching in terms of really going out there and embracing entrepreneurship?
All right, thank you very much, Clyde. I appreciate for this opportunity. Just one last word I will say: go out there. Opportunity won't come to you. You need to go and get those opportunity. You might have seen at Summit, John gave a talk, and
Yeah,
he put money up. He said, "Who wants money?" And only one person of everybody in the room went to get that money.
yeah.
So that shows and say there are opportunities out there. You have to go and grab it. No one will go and grab it for you, or you can't be sitting in your office and expect opportunity coming knocking on your door. You have to go out and grab that opportunity, similar to the same scenario John gave at the summit.
Okay. Thank you. Possible opportunities are out there. You gotta go and get them. They say cows don't give milk. You have to milk them. So there are a lot of cows out there. Go and milk them for business, and that's a good advice that we're getting from Possible Diessa from Adelaide, South Australia. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for watching this video. We encourage you to share the video, comment, like, and also if you're watching and you have some something you can share in terms of your business experience or a story, entrepreneurship journey, feel free to contact us. We'll be more than happy to have you and share get some of your insight that can be shared by the broader community. All right, until next time, well, stay busy, go and get those opportunities, and we'll see you in our next show. Thank you very much.